You're listening to the Business Wealth Impact Podcast, your source for empowering information and cutting-edge ideas from the world's top minds. I'm your host, Jeanne Amlour, founder of seven-figure coaching company, Jeanne Amlour International. Join me on a journey to unleash your potential and create your highest success. Welcome to Business Wealth Impact. Hello and welcome to another amazing episode. Today we have Justin Goodbread. Justin has started and sold 6 businesses. He is number 1 on the Wall Street best-selling list for one of his books. He has multiple credentials. He's an influencer, author, coach. But the one he's the most proud of is that he was inducted into the Exit Planning Hall of Fame. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's amazing that you're here. Thank you for being here. Okay, you were talking to me before, and we were talking about how you know that people can build wealth in a short period of time and also build a family legacy. So I wanted to dig into that today.
Yeah, so most people that I speak to are business owners, and those who are not business owners are always trying to figure out what's the secret for business ownership. And one of the things that I look at with business ownership is it allows us to create generational wealth in a very rapid period of time. It doesn't take us decades. We can make money in the stock market, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can make money in our retirement accounts. We can even make money in real estate, and many have. I've made money in real estate. But if you look at the most wealthy of wealthy out there, where they make their money at is in business. Now, what's the secret for us as small business owners? According to the SBA, Small Business Association, any company that has less than 500 employees is a small business. So for us small business owners, we have the ability within a very short period of time to rapidly increase our net worth, to make our net worth 7, 8, or even 9 figures in value over a 36-month, 48-month, it may be even a short period of time that can help us achieve that. So I love talking with business owners specifically around how to drive value and increase their net worth.
Okay, how do you do that?
So the very first thing we have to do as business owners is we look at our business as a business, not as our identity. So many of us as business owners, we know what it's like to get a business off the ground if we're founders. And if we come in and buy a business, we know how hard it is to make it our own. And so we end up with these, what I call blood, sweat, and tears. We get beat up in the early days or even later days of life. And oftentimes we find our identity in that business. Someone will ask us, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work on HVAC, or I'm a veterinarian, and we title ourselves based on the occupation we have versus saying, I'm just an old country boy. I'm married, have 3 kids. I live on a little hobby farm in East Tennessee. I like to do these things. Whenever we as business owners, we often identify ourselves as our business. So one of the very first things we do to build wealth is to look at the business as an asset, just like we would our retirement account or just like we would a piece of real estate. And then we could create metrics that allows us to see, is our business actually increasing our value? So whenever we start teaching clients on how they can double or triple their net worth, one of the very first things we need to look at is how much is the business worth today? And is it best in class? What can we do to make this business where it is top in this performing peer group and investors want to buy it and throw insanely amounts of money at us? I personally had this happen in my own life. I started my 6th, 7th, and 8th companies that I sold in December 17, 2017. Didn't look at it as my identity, looked at it as a business with my coach, and 49 months later had an 8-figure exit. It didn't take long. It takes a very short period of time. So the very first thing we need to do is look at our companies, not as our baby, but as an asset on our balance sheet that we're trying to make sure it grows and gives us good yield.
Okay. So that's amazing and congratulations. So basically you have cracked a code and there's a secret here. And part of that is the mindset of you are not your business, you're yourself, and your business is an asset. That's the first mindset shift. And I know what you're talking about because I coach a lot of businesses, mainly coaches and consultants now. And it's not that you should not work, but it's that it's not you. It's a business and you're you. Have some balance, but sometimes you have to put a lot of you into the business. That doesn't mean you just sit around and don't do any work, because I think people tend to make things black and white. It's all that either I work and it's my whole life, or I don't do anything at all because that's just a business. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I agree with you in this sense. I see a lot of business owners today who live in this social media fairy tale world of business. And what I mean by that is we are willing to do the hard work. We're willing to get up. We're willing to work long hours, often inefficiently, but we're willing to work long hours. We're willing to take on anybody we want as a client, often inefficiently, and we're willing to do the hard work. But where we fail at in business is we build ourselves a lifestyle that our identity is attached
Mm-hmm.
to, but lifestyle business doesn't create wealth. It's not one that you're going to be able to sell or even make money while others are working for
Mm-hmm.
you. And that's where ultimate wealth is created. So for those business owners out there who want more than just this lifestyle that they can flash on social media, that we know most of it's not true
Mm-hmm.
anyways, if they wanted more than this lifestyle business, that now you're creating an asset that can be transacted to another buyer somewhere along the line and change your life for the rest of your
Mm-hmm.
life. If that's you, then we've got to get out of this mindset of this lifestyle creation of a business and instead create what's called a value creation
Mm-hmm.
business. And it's where you're actually creating value, not just for yourself, but for
Mm-hmm.
others. You see, as a business owner, especially coaches, as a business owner, what we end up doing is we sacrifice so much. We help our communities. We
Mm-hmm.
do. We love our clients. We help our clients. We do everything we can for them, sometimes more than we should, and get hurt on our value. We love our team members. We'll charge hell with a water pistol to sacrifice for our team because they're there with us. They capture our vision. But whenever we look at ourselves, we're almost like the old saying, the cobbler's
Mm-hmm.
kid's shoes are never
Mm.
shod. So in our side, as business owners, we have to take our mindset from, hey, the business is not us. I'm not creating a lifestyle business. I'm creating a business that someone out there is willing to pay me
Right.
for. And we can look at strategies all around where it
Mm-hmm.
works. And we can name businesses like a Dave Ramsey. Now he has a company that's, even though it had his name around it here in East Tennessee, it's now a business called Ramsey Solutions where Dave is not at the center of the business anymore. That has happened multiple
Right.
times. We see it with Tony Robbins. He's another talking person.
However, Tony has been trying to sell his company for 20 years and has not, because he's too
Well,
attached to the brand.
he has multiple companies. This is the cool thing about the Robbins
Yeah.
Enterprise is he has one holding company, has a bunch of other companies
Yeah.
that he has been able to
Okay.
sell.
So how do you do it? What's the secret sauce? You had a coach that helped you with this. What did you do? What's the step by step?
Step number one is you got to know your
Mm-hmm.
value. Step number two is once you know your value, you've got to see the difference. There's what's called a value gap. There's a delta between your current company's value and one that's best in class. And it has nothing to do with revenue. It has everything to do with the 256 metrics that are holding that company's value up. For example, one of the top most weighted value holders is the owner dependence. How centered are you at the epicenter of your business? And we know we all should be working on our business versus working in our business. We know that, but we don't. So one of the top movers is how to move the business owner. That's one of 256 points we could talk about. We could talk about recurring revenue. We could talk about forecasting your revenue. We could talk about centralization of an avatar, how singular focus you are with one particular avatar, solving one particular problem, and how is the whole ecosystem designed for that. All of what I'm talking about, plus I can go on for hours more that I've written about in books, drive to the value of the company. So when we know our true value today and we know the delta between where it could be with no more revenue, now we know what we need to improve inside the company in order to drive that value up. And if we do it systematically, we follow a set process, repeating this every 90 days, what happens is over an 18 or 36 month period, you could totally revolutionize the value of your company. You could see your company go from maybe six figures to mid seven figures, high seven figures in an 18, 36 month period of time, all by looking at it through the lens of an investor.
Okay, this is awesome. So which book of yours has all of those over 200 points in it?
Neither of them have all of them because it would take an encyclopedia to write them all. If you read Your Baby's Ugly, what it's talking about is the 8 key areas of business, and the biggest areas are the biggest movers in those 8 key areas of business in order to drive value. If you read the first book, The Ultimate Sale, it walks through the selling process of what we as business owners could experience if we're trying to sell our companies. Both of them list components, but to try to list 256 components into one single document, that'd be an encyclopedia.
Sure, but you have some sort of system that does plug all of those in and analyze all of that for your clients, correct?
We do. We have software created at MIT and other places.
That's what I thought. That's where I was getting. Okay, so now I'm getting it, and I love it. You have a system. It's an automated system. It checks all of these over 200 points, right? By the way, Your Baby's Ugly. I love that, guys. Get it? Your Baby's Ugly by Justin Goodbread. I love the title. Okay. Nobody wants to hear their baby is ugly, except, well, not even that person on that Seinfeld episode. Okay, so, which was the best episode and the best scene in the whole 10 years of that series. Okay, so, and I'm not the only one that says that. Okay, Justin, now I'm getting it. There's all these touch points. You have a system that feeds it all through, it analyzes, and you are seeing the weaknesses. And bit by bit, you're revolutionizing these businesses by not all at once, but working on a few things in the next 90 days and building them all up. This is amazing. I have a question. Do you help people also with their marketing?
Marketing is one of the 8 areas of business. What's interesting about marketing is it's often the weakest area globally for small business owners, especially those in the service industry. And the reason for it is because so many times we've wasted tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars throwing money at things that maybe cousin Eddie was doing down the street, or this person tried to sell me
Hmm.
on something, or we saw this influencer on TikTok who's talking about something they've never personally done, and so we're going to try it. So for most
Right.
small business owners, marketing sucks, if I can say it that bluntly. So in order for us to drive marketing, and marketing has to be there, it has to be you have to have a really pristine marketing company or marketing division of your firm in order to drive value. It has to be there. Period. No holds barred, no questions asked. But in order for us to drive marketing, we have to get singular in who we're trying to serve. And what
Yes,
most
yes,
business owners, they don't know who they're trying to serve. Who's their problem that they can solve, the person they can solve the problem for. So why are we going to market if we don't know that? And then why are we going to be in operational
exactly.
systems if we don't know the avatar? It makes no sense to me.
That's the very first thing that we do with our clients is we get super clear on the avatar inside out, and we get so clear on the one avatar and exactly what is the problem and why would they pay you money for this?
You know, what's interesting is when we have that conversations, well, we have that conversation with business owners. They're like, and I feel this way. I get it. Well, what about
Mm.
so and so? What about we can help them? Well, yes, just because we can doesn't mean we should. Number one, but let's come.
Mhm.
Number two is that if your company is going to be highly valuable for somebody's going to pay you money, what they're ultimately looking for is a machine. They're not looking for all your fluff and
Mhm.
all the feelings that we often bring
Mhm.
as business owners, myself included. What they're looking for is
Mhm.
there a specific person that has a specific problem, that you solve their specific problem with this type of an approach, and that this approach can be diluted from you, the business owner, and can be achieved through systems or processes or other personnel. And if you can deliver
Mhm.
that particular strategy, then you have a business that somebody's willing to buy. The reason why
Mhm.
80% of us business owners who are listening to this conversation, why we will never sell our business and why we will be broke, is because we're not willing to get singular in our focus. And if we're not singular in our
Mm.
focus, we get diluted results. And so in
Mhm.
order for you to go to marketing, you first have to know your avatar. Before you should ever hire people in your team, you have to know your avatar of who you're trying to serve. Before you ever lay out the
Mhm.
systems or the processes or the product that you're going to serve, you have to know the avatar, their syntax on how they're going to buy that said product or service. So everything
Mhm.
from marketing, sales, operations, everything comes to that avatar and is vital. And that's one of the areas that is often so low hanging for business owners. And what I often hear at this point is they'll say, okay, Goodbread, I've been in business for 20 years. Here's my CRM. Who's my avatar? And the
Right.
cocky business owner like myself would actually say that. And I would say that if somebody were challenging me. And it's so easy,
Mhm.
friends, if you look at your list, you can segment your list by age, by sex, by location, by zip code, by spend,
Mhm.
by demographic, by where they shop, by what religion they have, by what political, doesn't matter. You can segment your list presently by a number of different things. And through proper segmentation that a good consultant or a coach can help you with, you can now segment it down to find out who is that 4% of clientele who drives you 64% of your revenue. And if we can focus
Mhm.
everything for that individual, now we have a business that we can excel and we can grow and we can start reducing those pain points that an investor would look at and say, hey, I'm not willing to pay you for this.
Yeah, I love this because you are just shooting my horn. Thank you. Because people say, well, I can help a lot of people. I know you can. We don't want to help. My business is so simple that people are always asking me, but it's so simple. I said, that's why it works, because it's so simple. And it's just one thing. Client coaches and consultants. There'll be a stray person in there that just wants to work with us. And I'm like, share, it will work. That's what drove my success is getting so clear on who was that, what's the problem, one program, then we got a back end program. That is it. It's dialed in instead of trying to create a million programs for a million people and just getting burnt out. Okay, so I'm loving every minute of this. Okay, now once you figure out their avatar and they get clear on that, and I know it's a struggle because people are very attached to their old ways, right? Very resistant and cocky. So once they go, yes, okay, this, let's say your person that you're working with, their avatar really is financial advisors, and they know it's financial advisors. Do you then help with marketing, or is that not your thing?
You'd have to define help with. Or am I going to actually sit in there and do the marketing for you?
No, no, no. Strategize with the marketing.
Yeah, strategy is all about to me is how you're going to deliver the proper message to the proper avatar in the proper venue. That's all it is to me. So
Hmm.
I'll ultra simplify things. There can be alternative measures to marketing. For example, when I was launching my company, I knew that in order for me to hit an 8-figure valuation in the financial world, marketing had to be there, period. No questions asked.
Hmm.
Financial
Hmm.
advisors have a hard time marketing because of compliance and the regulations. Well, I
Mm.
also wanted a New York Times best-selling book to prove my high school teacher wrong, that I was not going to be dumb as a
Mm.
box of rocks, her words. So what I did is I created a marketing system that allowed me to connect my message with my avatar in the right location while simultaneously writing 2 books and writing out 1,800 blog articles. Now, it cost me a little bit more. I could have probably reached
Mhm.
my desired outcome of my business a little quicker, but I was achieving 2 different things at once. So, when it comes to a
Yes.
strategy session in terms of marketing, the strategy is ultimately going to be where is my avatar and how are they going to receive my message? And
Mhm.
depending on your clientele, that could easily be done through a video. It could be done through an audio. It could be done through a graphic, a still image, a carousel, or anywhere. It could be in social media. It could be on a billboard, depending on what your business is.
Mm.
It all depends on where
Mhm.
is your avatar and how do we get your message so that we can solve their problem in front of them.
Right, right. Awesome. This is such good stuff. Okay, so once you do all those metrics, then you're just coaching them to build the business, and the goal is to be able to sell it, right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of us are not thinking of selling, and we should be. Then again, it's really hard for coaching businesses to sell. It's one of the hardest types of businesses to sell is an information company. We all know that. I've spoken to certain experts, and they said that's why Tony Robbins has not been able to sell his Tony Robbins coaching brand, even though he's tried, because it's all about Tony. Who would want to buy it with Tony's not being there? Okay, so with all of this, is there any other information that people need to start thinking differently?
Yeah, so I think I would modify what you said there. After we understand where our value is and the gap between where our company could be and what it's worth, then it's a matter of taking those that the size of data that we have to digest and improve the company with. We don't have to move it into small bites. Where the coach who comes in
Hmm.
is knowing which bite to chew next. Because if you tackle the wrong
Hmm.
bite, you end up spinning your wheels and you go backwards. So the coaching, whenever you're coaching somebody in this process, is knowing which is the next step to take, and then keeping them encouraged. Moving a company from a lifestyle business, let's use coaching for example, because I have one that we've already sold. Moving one from a lifestyle business where it's centered around one particular person, they've got his team that supports them, into now saying, hey, we can scale this thing and we're going to be able to sell this thing. We sold this one for 9 figures from a one individual
Hmm.
person. It took us 4 years to move it from that person now to a decentralized position. They had VC buying for 9 figures. It can be done. The problem is it's stinking
Mm.
hard. It's a lot of hard
Right,
work. And as you said earlier, many times we as business owners or coaches or whoever we're talking to, we're kind of bullheaded and we know what's got us to this point. The problem is we're bullheaded, and what got us to this point is not going to take us to ultimately where we desire. So where the true magic
right.
comes in for a coach is not the education. It's not all the technical know-how. That's really not where
Hmm.
you're paying your coach for. Yes, you're going to get some insight from them. Yes, they're going to save you some money. That coach is there to help you as you're walking the path, not to misstep, to stay encouraged.
Right.
I go elk hunting in the Rocky Mountains every year, and whenever you get up about 10,000 feet altitude, it gets hard to walk for a little flatlander like me. And what's interesting is my
Mm.
guide, even though he's there to guide me to the successful hunt, what he's ultimately there for is keep me encouraged. Because whenever I move from 1,000 foot altitude to 12,000, I'm sucking wind. And he could run marathons.
Mm.
What's he doing? Hey, we're almost there, just around the bend. He's coaching me along the
Mm.
hardship of my journey. That really, friend,
Mm.
is where it matters. It's not about having the technical knowledge. It's having somebody alongside just saying, don't step there. Come on, you got this. I know this sucks. Let's
Right.
move forward.
Right. So you're talking about something that people aren't really talking about much, and that is interesting. They always talk about coaching and coaching people to success. I believe that as well. People need encouragement and they need love when they're being coached, and they need to not feel like they're being treated kind of like losers. And it's interesting that you said that because I don't hear anybody talk about that, that we should be encouraging people. And coaches aren't supposed to leave you with a bad feeling every time you have a coaching session that you don't know what you're doing and you're a loser. Two words of encouragement can get people to do way more than all the information in the world where they feel talked down at or this is never going to work. So thanks for pointing that out. Okay, so basically we have to shift our mindset from being too attached to the business. It is an asset and we could let go of it. I think even hearing that, a lot of people would be thinking, oh, I'm going to sell my business, but that's my whole life. Well, you can buy another one. You can start another one, right? You've done it. So you get them to this point and then they start changing the way it's run by getting themselves out of everyday operations, which is a challenge for most people because it's hard for people to even delegate. That I know. I've coached a lot of business people, and it's also hard for them to fire people that are not doing a good job. I'm an expert at helping people let go of people in a gentle way. And then we see everything work a million times better. I sometimes have to practice what I preach, though. Okay, so, okay, there's that. Now, basically, with this system, you're saying if we change the mindset and do these things, all businesses could be transformed into a business that can be sold.
Absolutely. What does a buyer want? A buyer simply wants a machine. What is it that we want as business owners? We want a machine. The reason why we're beating our head up against the wall is because we're the machine and we don't like it as business owners. What we want is the old proverbial golden goose from Aesop's fables, right? That's what we want. So does the buyer.
Mm,
So if we're able to take our business and move it from this chaotic plate spinning, chasing our tail, putting out fires, whatever metaphor you want to use there. If we move it from this to where now we're acting as true CEOs, just imagine this, friends. Just imagine your wildest dreams that you wake up on a Monday morning, your calendar's empty. There's nothing on your calendar to do except maybe have a team meeting on Monday morning. And on that team meeting, all of your reports, whomever they may be within your business, provide you the data points that you need for that week. Already ready to go. And then they tell
mm,
you what their problems in the company are and how they're going to solve them this week. And every Monday, your
mm,
job is just to go in and answer one or two questions of here's how I would do it, but you're the person we hired for this, so how are you going to do this? Just imagine
mm.
that after you got done with that phone call, now you hop on a plane, a bike, do whatever, take a walk, what would you do? So this was a question that was posed to me whenever my wife was sick, laid up in the hospital because of COVID. We didn't think she was going to live. Had a business that was J curving
Mm,
through the ceiling. I was taking 4 months off a year, making mid six figures of income while taking 4 months off, not working 90 hours a week. Had an extreme business. And my coach said, Justin, if you had unlimited time and unlimited resources, what would you do tomorrow that you're not doing today? And it came, and I paused for a minute. I said, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. He said, okay, cool. Let's
mm,
sell it. I didn't plan on selling the company,
mm,
but the offer was ridiculous because we built the machine. And when the offer came in, I was
mm,
like, heck yeah, we're going to take this deal and run because I realized at age 45 at that time that I had time theoretically on my side. And now I had capital that I could truly invest in what I want to help people with, which is, hey, as a fellow business owner, don't die broke. You don't have to. There's a simple
mm,
solution that you can move your family into multi generational wealth. It's not hard.
mm,
You just have to want it.
mm.
And you have to want it more than anything
Right.
else. And if you do, there's a simple process you can follow. And if this country boy, born and raised on a dirt road in South Georgia, can do this, I know you can. I'm not that special. So that's the message.
Mm. I say that all the time. People say, "Oh, that's you, Jean." I said, "I'm not special. I'm just kind of average, actually, in a lot of ways." You know, do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Okay. So, but now you do coach people, so you do have stuff to do, but you enjoy that. Is that the difference?
Yeah. The difference is that now I spend time with my family whenever I need to spend time with my family and not worry about the business. Now the difference is I
Mm,
work with people that I truly want to help. A specific. I have
mm,
my own avatar. It's nailed down. We call it Relentless
mhm,
Randy is our avatar's name. So we're trying to help Randy out there. But I'm enjoying it because it's fun. It allows me to speak. I'm still with my New York Times bestseller, so I'm still writing my next book right now. So I'm able to do the things that I want to do. Do I work? Yes, I do. I work harder than ever. I'm running 5 companies. Am I free? Absolutely. It's absolutely. So there's a
mm.
difference.
There is a difference. It's out of choice. You want to do
Right.
that. I personally love working, but I also love being able to take off time whenever I want, which I do. So this has been great stuff. So tell me, Justin, what's one thing you want to leave people with as a mindset or a philosophy?
It's a simple philosophy. It's equated back to Henry Ford. He made this simple statement that I heard 1,000 times growing up from my dad. He said, son, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. I know that's simple. I know we've heard it our whole lives, but friends, if you want to build generational wealth in your business, you can. If you want to make $1 million next year, you can, if you so choose. But the question is how much do you want whatever your desire is?
Very good. Well, we'll leave it at that. Justin, thank you so much for turning up and sharing all that wisdom. Please make sure you check out his books. What are the names of your books again? Your Baby's Ugly,
And the ultimate sale.
The Ultimate Sale. Go check them out. Thank you for listening. I hope that you got a lot of value out of this, like I did. And we will see you on the next one. By the way, if you liked it, please write a review. Please share. Please tell your friends about it. You're listening to the Business Wealth Impact Podcast, your source for empowering information and cutting-edge ideas from the world's top minds. I'm your host, Jeanne Amlour, founder of seven-figure coaching company, Jeanne Amlour International. Join me on a journey to unleash your potential and create your highest success. Welcome to Business Wealth Impact.